Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I dislike very much to say this, I told you so, or I was right, because my predictions usually have to do with what these pigs are doing, and they're not doing something that's positive. So my predictions are, you'll see how these guys are breaking the rules, and they ask everybody else to be okay with that, but only for that time. And my predictions, as I said, usually are like, see, this guy is gonna do this cup thing, and when that happens, I am coming and telling you, not bragging, I'm just, see, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. Now, I made a video a minute ago regarding US changing, possibly changing the rules, NATO accession rules to become a member. As I said before, like you remember with a sour loser, wants to change the rules of the game in the middle of the game to profit only for that moment, that loser, that's what they do. So the same United States does right now with NATO and Ukraine. Now I have another example where I can tell you, I told you so. And this comes from Henry Kissinger. Now, if I mention Henry Kissinger, you all have to bow down and say, yes, 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 Henry Kissinger. Now, this video has to do with Henry Kissinger stating that the United States isolates itself if it follows only its own interest. Do you remember me giving you that analogy with the United States showing up at the party with another country, let's say Great Britain, and at the party there's, let's say, 100 people at the party. And as they show up to the party with those 100 other guests, these guys say, hey, you're gonna bring me my drink? No, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. We isolated that guy. Hey, are you gonna give me a piece of cake? Go and get it. No, I'm not gonna do that for you. I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. And doing all these kind of things, like demanding and wanting to do, hey, you wanna do this for me? You gotta do this for me, you gotta do this for me. And those guys refusing to do it will make this guy not talk to them. We, the two of us, we will isolate you. Also, these two will isolate the 100 of the party guests over there, and they say, we isolated them, didn't we? But you too are isolated from 100 countries. This is exactly what Kissinger says. And Kissinger was a US advisor, president advisor, and Secretary of State under what? Nixon, and I think he was also under, what's his name, Ford. But anyway, let's go and see what exactly he says. This is pointed out by Sputnik. Kissinger, US may become isolated if it focuses solely on American interest. You know why again? And I make this analogy and the representation of the US diplomacy. United States does not use diplomacy, has not been using diplomacy in the past 30 years. Why? Because it doesn't have to. It has this. It's like a lion on a savannah. I make this analogy over and over again. The lion, when he shows up on the savannah, and the pack of lions killed the buffalo, the lion would not ask for permission. He's going to go and hit everybody, and going to be alone eating. Pop, pop, pop. Nobody would come over. Okay? So that's the negotiation of the big lion. That's what big lions are doing. That's how it is. But they talk about freedom and democracy and equality and make this NATO alliance and, So this is the mentality of the United States of America, which it is going to be alone and has only four tools in its diplomacy toolbox. It used to have more when Kissinger was around. Why? Because it was the Soviets, the counterbalance. So they had to kind of be more, because they were two lions, so they didn't really have to negotiate here and there. They had to negotiate here and there, including the weasels around the big lions, the little, hyenas from both sides. So what happens here? The four tools in the diplomacy toolbox of the United States are threats, blackmail, regime change, and attack, bombardment, straight, boom, right there. So these are the diplomatic means. And if you apply all these things, there's not negotiations. And if you look only for your interests, that means you ignore everybody else's interests. And when you're strong, you can do that, like the lion. But one day is going to be another lion over there that you ignore that lion's interest. Say, okay, man, I'm not going to come over here. Yeah, you can eat a little bit here and so on. And you might not be the biggest lion. You get old. You get old. As any civilization, remember the cycle of civilizations? I think it's about what? 8 points? You know, we all go through that, and the countries go through that as well. I think we are the 6th, almost as a 7th out of the 8. Just study that, it's available. So let's see what Kissinger says here. The United States will become isolated if Washington fails to balance its own interests with the needs of the global community, former U.S. Secretary of State and prominent geopolitical figure Henry Kissinger said in a Thursday interview. Now this guy, remember, this guy is like 101 or something like this. Compare this with Biden, okay? And I'm quoting, in the present period, the debate had shifted to extremes in which there is an extreme theory of America first, which is applied on both sides, but in such a way that it focuses too much on American interests and not on global interests, end quote. Kissinger said in an exclusive interview with Bloomberg. And I'm quoting again, that is a challenge, but anyone who wants to conduct a serious American foreign policy must balance the two, or America will become isolated. Oh, 100 right here. Is the last survivor, member of the Nixon administration, served as a number of top security and diplomatic positions in the White House during the 1970s. So this is it. I think he's right about it, and not because he confirms what I said, because I think these are not hard things to figure out. So I'm not putting a medal here, you know, or something over here. You know, I'm not doing that because I think it's too obvious. I mean, who's not seeing this kind of things is just, I don't know. But we learn. Life is a learning process if we want it to be. If we, then it's not going to be. Nobody's going to come and inject us any, you know, because if you don't want, you don't want. Beer is sweeter. The stupid games that they give us and the stupid shows they provide us on the TV are dumber and dumber. People are more, you know, tolerant in imposing something to you. And if you don't want to do it, they say you're intolerant, when they actually are the intolerant ones trying to impose something on you. So you're intolerant because you don't agree with their fantasies, and so on. This is a society, and you go and work. Who works? Others stay home and get a check from the mailbox, and you know, you go and get and work. And the most important thing, consume online. Don't go over there. Maybe you drive your car, but hey, that's an extra. And most of all, shut up. Right? That's what I want. A great consumer, a silent consumer. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart. Look for the truth and be just.